The town of Greyford lived up to its name. Years of hardship, failed factories, relentless rain that washed away topsoil, and a creeping sense of defeat had settled over its streets like a thick, damp fog. Buildings wore peeling paint like sad uniforms, and faces often mirrored the overcast sky. People moved slowly, spoke little, their dreams seemingly as dormant as the barren patches of earth behind their homes. Into this muted world came Elara, a woman whose own history was etched with quiet sorrow, carrying only a worn leather satchel bulging with seeds, a simple trowel, and a resolve as deep as ancient roots. She took a small, neglected plot near the town square, its soil compacted and lifeless, ignored by everyone day after day. Under skies that rarely brightened, Elara worked. She knelt on the stubborn earth, breaking the crust with her trowel, her fingers probing the cold clay. She planted seeds, whispering to them as she covered them, though the townsfolk watching from their windows shook their heads. "Nothing grows here but disappointment," muttered Old Man Hemlock, his voice as dry as the rusted weather vane on the church. Rain lashed down, threatening to wash her efforts away. Cold snaps nipped at any tentative green shoots that dared appear. Weeks passed with only mud and the Gardener's unwavering silhouette against the gray. Her hands grew rough, her back ached, but her quiet determination never wavered. Then, one pale morning, a miracle unfurled amidst the mud. A cluster of tiny, vibrant blue flowers pushed through, their faces turned bravely towards the weak sun. Cornflowers, they seemed impossibly bright against the pervasive gray, like shards of fallen sky. A child, drawn by the unexpected color, stopped and pointed. "Look, Mama." "Blue." The mother paused, a flicker of something long forgotten warming her tired eyes. Elara simply smiled, a soft, knowing curve of her lips, and gently touched a velvety petal. That small patch of blue became a beacon, drawing hesitant gazes throughout the day. A silent testament that life could persist. Inspired, or perhaps simply curious, others began to venture out. Mrs. Gable, who hadn't tended her windowsill since her husband passed, carefully repotted a straggly geranium. Young Thomas, usually sullen and withdrawn, asked Elara shyly for a few seeds. She gave him sunflower kernels, their promise held within hard shells. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, color began to seep into Greyford. Window boxes appeared, sporting brave marigolds and cheerful nasturtiums. A community plot was cleared near Elara's, where vegetables tentatively stretched towards the light. Conversations bloomed alongside the flowers, softer, kinder, often centered around the small triumphs in their patches of earth. The test came with a fierce summer drought. The sky turned a relentless, cloudless blue, baking the land. The river shriveled to a trickle, leaves curled, petals drooped, and the familiar gray despair threatened to reclaim the town. Fear whispered through the dry air, but Elara didn't stop. Every dawn and dusk, she carried precious water from the dwindling town well, carefully sharing each drop between her thirsty plants and the community plot. Her movements were slow, deliberate, radiating a calm defiance. Against the parching sun, her quiet perseverance became a silent command. Others followed, buckets appeared, people formed lines at the well, sharing the burden, watering not just their own, but their neighbors' struggling beans or wilting roses. It was grueling work under the scorching sun. Tempers frayed, muscles screamed, and hope felt as fragile as a Spider's web. Yet, seeing Elara, her face serene despite the sweat and dust, her hands gently supporting a drooping stem, kept them going. They learned resilience from the deep roots. She encouraged them to help plants grow. They learned patience as they waited for the rain. They learned community as they shared their water and their shade. Slowly, incredibly, most of the plants survived. Deep roots found hidden moisture, tough leaves conserved water, and the collective care nurtured life against the odds. When the first, blessed rain finally came, it felt like a baptism, Washing away dust and despair, Greyford didn't magically become rich. But the gray had lifted. The town was now a tapestry woven with vibrant threads of life. Climbing roses softened brick walls, vegetable gardens provided sustenance and pride, and sunflowers stood like cheerful sentinels. The heavy silence was replaced by the buzz of bees, children's laughter near the community plot, and the comfortable murmur of neighbors chatting over garden fences. Elara remained a quiet figure, often found kneeling in the earth, her hands nurturing life she had planted more than flowers and vegetables. She had cultivated a profound, enduring sense of possibility. She had shown them that even in the hardest ground, with persistent care and shared effort, hope could not only take root, but flourish wildly, transforming the very landscape of their hearts and their home. Her garden was no longer just a plot of land. It was the living, beating heart of Greyford, a testament to the quiet power of tending to possibility.